Hey everybody, this is Scott with KC Blade Drip, and yeah, pretty stoked. I had to get this video out there for you. Just got this yesterday, and it was just released last week. So this is the 24th of April, I believe the 21st of April, 2022. Is when the release was, when they were able to release at dealers and such for the Benchmade Shootout. So we have the box here. I unboxed it. I had to open it. Kind of played with a little bit. I've cut some things, done some things here the last day or so, and wanted to be able to bring some pointers and talk to the knife, show it off. I appreciate that you're joining me. This is the beginning of the journey for this particular knife, show and tell, all that other good stuff. And that's just my opinion. I'm gonna let you know what I think about it. I've got quite a few different OTFs as well as other knives. So not that I'm an expert by any means. I am strictly a novice, and but I enjoy knives, love knives, like carrying them, talking about them, and I love learning. So again, appreciate you're here. If you want to give me a follow on Instagram, KC Blade Drip. If you like the video, of course, you know what to do. There's a thumbs up you can hit, and you can also subscribe. So here we go. Let's jump into this bad boy. Here's the box. Benchmade Knife Company Shootout. And the information here. It's pretty much the generic stuff that you would expect from Benchmade. Whenever you open the box, I mean, you have some instructions, like a little sleeve here to put it in, and then you've got the knife. This stuff here is the boring stuff that you just have to kind of weed through. All right, here we go. There's the knife. Let's look at this piece of beauty. I'll tell you what, first impression, when I opened this up and held it in my hand, I was like, holy crap, this thing feels light, light, light. I'm talking super duper light. So I was thinking, man, this feels damn near like a toy. I mean, just the weight of it, or lack thereof weight, and the way it felt in my hand, it just felt like something. I mean, to be honest with you, first impression of holding it, it felt cheap and light. And not to mention, talk about light. Guys, I was sitting outside. It's gorgeous today. And 70 degrees, sunny. Was in a Arondock. Is it Arondock? Outside plastic, one of those chairs. Busted it. It was the third one that's broke on me. I felt like frickin' Shallow Hal. You know, the girl in there when she breaks a chair. I'm done with it. I'm going to get some heavy duty stuff for outside. It wasn't fun. But anyways, moving past that. So the knife itself, whenever I was holding it, okay, the plastic here, or I say plastic material, from my understanding, Benchmade has made or come up with this material that the knife is encased in. It's not plastic, but some type of very heavy duty, I don't know if it's resins, or the material. I'm not even sure. Again, this is just my impression of what it feels like, looks like. But to my understanding, they have kind of come up with this particular handle and case themselves. You've got the Benchmade clip, deep carry. You can flip this to the opposite side, and it's going to be identical to each side. You've got a small glass breaker here, very small. I'm okay with this. I'm not sure what the material is, but I'm okay with that size, and it looks well. Very plain, very plain. This will say US on it, manufactured MFG. You've got screws here on the four corners And you can see you have the posts on the other side, so they're gonna go all the way through here and lock it down. I'm not sure what the inside of this bad boy looks like, but the tracking system, you can see it's right down in the center. Okay, right in the center. Now, one thing about OTFs is that no matter what, you've got the center or the end of the blade's always going to have an opening because the blade is going to eject, right? The thing that I like about the blade on this particular knife, the Shootout, is that it's smooth, okay? Very smooth. Now, this type of blade, just to cover that, this is a special type CPM CRU-WEAR, first production. And this CRU-WAER, from my understanding, is again like D2 on steroids. It's like a super type of new steel that Benchmade is going to be working with and putting in their knives. And it's just, all that I've heard from it, it's remarkable. It is a wonderful steel. Now, again, I mean, it's sharp as hell. It shaved my hair on my arm, but I guess it's some type of a super steel, a new steel. I don't know a lot about it. It is coated with like this earth tone on it. Not much branding, but the blade itself, if you look at it, it's smooth. So if you happen to get it wet or you get gunk on it and you're using it, you can wipe this off really easy. A lot of things with Microtex and other out the fronts is there'll be a design or there'll be grooves or jagged points on the blade or fancy things on it. Well, the problem with an OTF on that is when you go to cut and you're doing your business, even if you wipe it and you take a towel and you wipe this off, in the grooves, cracks, anytime you have a little edge or something rough on the blade, when you pull it in, it's gonna take it inside your knife. It's just, that's the way it works. You're not gonna say, oh yeah, you need to clean it better, you need to wash it off. Yes, you can, but the more design, the more things on your knife, it's harder to wipe off. And for this, you could wipe it on your pants, wipe it on your shirt, grab a towel, and it's going to be more effectively, or more, I guess, it's easier to wipe it off and then retract it. So that's one thing that I like about the blade. This is like a Tanto tip. Again, very sharp. So I love the blade, the simplicity of it. Okay, I don't know what this little, if you look at where the blade comes out, I'm not sure why there's a gap here. Maybe to sharpen, somebody said to, but if you look at, I know on Microtex, when they eject, they have the base of the knife that fills like any cracks. So it looks like that it fills it all up. The blade isn't really that wobbly. It does move just slightly, okay? Probably like a Microtech would, or an other OTF, minus the Hawk deadlock, which doesn't move. But it just a little bit, it moves. It does have that hole. So I don't know. I don't really know too much about that. Love the blade geometry, sharp. As you can see, the thing about the blade itself, look how compared to the handle, it's not crazy. This blade is not crazy small compared to like a really big handle. So I don't even know. Let's look. 3.5, damn near exactly 3.5. The handle itself, without the glass breaker edge, you're looking at 4 3/4, okay? So not a huge difference for being a OTF in the handle, okay? Overall, this sucker, you 8 inches, 8 1/4 with the glass breaker. It probably weighs about 2.5 ounces, if that. I don't have that stat in front of me. I'm not a big stat guy. I don't like reading numbers out of books or off of paper or off the internet because you can find those anywhere. But it's super duper light. At first, I told you it felt plasticky and cheap. But as I've carried this and I've had it in my pocket, this is anything but cheap. This is a freaking wonderful, wonderful tool. First responders, anybody in the military that's going to have to strap this into any type of a harness pocket, use it as a main or probably a secondary knife that's quick to get to. Very good for that. And I'll tell you a couple other things that I really like. One, look at the trigger here. The trigger is designed where the slope is more right here than here. Watch my thumb. When I take my thumb, you see that? Look how it fits that perfectly. I'm not even pushing it. So they have made this ramp comfortable to where when you put your thumb on it, it naturally can push up very easily. Now, when you're pulling, that's a different action. So when you use the tip of your thumb, because anytime you're going backwards and you're retracting, you're going to use the tip of your thumb. So you use the tip and you pull and see how it's a little bit smaller or different of a slope. And the action is very, very smooth. So you put your thumb here. It's a nice, gentle, but now there is no rattling. You know, on the buttons of a lot of Microtechs, when you push them or you just try to move them or tap them, you'll hear a this doesn't. This doesn't have any rattling. So that is awesome. That's really good. I love that. You push, you gradually start to push and you're building pressure. As you get to that 3/4 point right here, you can feel where you're really starting to push to where it's going to eject. And then at the very end, about the 79, let's be exact, 80 to 90 point, then it breaks. So nice, it's not going to go off in your pocket or anything. It's not rattling. Great build up and break, and it's not hard to push at all. So the button itself, it feels like it's plastic though. If you touch the button here, it feels like it's some type of a plastic. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to look more into that. But it's just because it's lightweight. But I saw a guy doing videos on these things and he was running over it with a truck, throwing it in the air in the street, and it just kept working. So they're incredibly durable. So don't let this fool you. It fooled me. At first I thought, man, that thing is not no, it's durable. Another thing, as a Leo first responder, our boys in blue, military, if you're using a knife, especially, the thing is, in an emergency situation, people always like to say this bullshit about, well, why is it called tactical? Dude, tactical is a situation. It's not it's not your tool, a tactical pair of sunglasses. Tactical refers to your work and what you're going to be doing. Our men in blue, Leos, first responders, people are in tactical situations a lot. They may pull up on a car wreck. They may need to cut somebody out of a belt. They may need to cut a shirt off somebody. That is a tactical situation where you're under pressure and you need something to perform and not fail you. This is awesome in this position. A lot of times you pull something out, you need it to be quick. And when you grab hold of this thing, first, ergonomics. Let's talk about that. I'm sorry this is a longer video, but there's a lot to go over for you to see. Ergonomics. Here's the blade. Here's the knife and the handle. I put my hand on, I have a large hand. Wraps right around it. Feels comfortable, okay? That's a comfortable grab. So I'm holding it here. There's this ramp at the bottom, natural. Here, it's natural to hold it. So if you're doing a thrust or you're needing to full grip it, very comfortable. No hot spots on this. Now your hand gets wet, which can happen a lot, trust me. It doesn't always mean it's blood, but if you're cutting someone out of a car, I guarantee you those types of situations, there can be all kinds of fluids, wet, blood, it could be anything, okay? When you're grabbing a hold of this, a lot of times what people are doing, you don't always grab it and cut straight down like this if you're cutting a shirt. A lot of times when you grab your knife out, you eject it, you're going like this and you're cutting upwards. When you do that, if you flip your knife around, your finger fits underneath this area and your thumb pushes on this ramp right here perfectly. So if you just flip it naturally and you're cutting up, trying to either pull a seat belt when you're cutting it or cutting a shirt or whatever you may need to do going upwards so that you're not cutting the person that is needing to be freed, it fits your hand well for that. Your thumb goes here, there's jimping underneath. If you put it here, there's jimping here. Really well done, not hot. I can flip this thing all day long and not hurt my thumb, all day. I can flip it over, comfortable. So you have it here on one side, the plastic type of material. It may be smooth in areas, but it's not slippery. Here, same thing, great use of the jimping, long track. You have a long track here, okay? So for a situation, if you have your hands wet, this is almost like a black sandpaper, super, super fine grade. So it's not rough to where it's gonna hurt your finger, but if you rub your thumb on this material, it's like a grippy black, you can see the texture on both sides. Your thumb will even probably have a little dead skin it leaves on there. But it's got that tactile material. So let's say you pull this out, you're doing this, you're going sideways, you turn your knife. This, if your hand is wet, this material, you're gonna grab it, it's not slipping. You're gonna have great hand locked in here and great texture. This is perfect for that because you're going at different angles. You're not just perfectly holding your knife like this all the time. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, okay? So that's perfect for that. The clip, I love the branding, very minimal. You wouldn't even know unless you saw this little butterfly here and you saw this little tiny stuff here, you wouldn't even know what kind of a brand this is. That's not important. Saving lives is always important, guys, always. This is, I'm so impressed with this Benchmade knife and offering for this OTF, and I'm not a fan of some of the other Benchmades, OTFs. I've got a few different Benchmades, but I had the Infidel and I'm not a fan of them. I really am not. I've got some other videos I'm gonna come out in the future on some OTFs, and this one right here is up there with them. Did a great job with it. So we covered ergos, right? Nice thin blade. Great for slicing, great for piercing. So you can enter, cut down. Small glass breaker, you probably would never use it, but it's there in case you need it in emergency. That's all we're talking about, guys. This is a very practical, tactical knife, very functioning. Also, dare I say it, I don't care if you're opening letters, you can be tactical at your desk. This is so light, you can drop it in your pants pocket, you can attach it to your pants pocket, you can put it on your vest, you can put it on a pair of jeans. You can wear it and have a fixed blade also with you, which is what I do. But this thing here with the patterns, the texturing, the thumb, left-handed. Very few OTFs really can I grab in my offhand and have my thumb be strong enough to just keep going back and forth with no problems. Okay? This is a knife that can pretty much handle any situation for you. I'm so happy that I got this. Yeah, and I'm sure that you could put in some rim oil, spray it out a little bit or let it drain out, and it would be fine inside. I'm really interested to know what the inside is like. I'm just trying to think if there's any real thing else to cover on this knife. I've got a couple of other unboxings I'll be doing and putting on the channel. Got a couple of other knives I'm going to talk about with you and just shoot the shit like I'm doing now. Again, I appreciate your time. Let's do it together. I'm not a professional. I'm not going to get on here and give you some fancy, stuff and try to wine you, dine you, and 69 you. I just want to be able to talk to you about knives, let you learn with me, tell you what I've felt, seen, and know. Some of my collection's older stuff that I'm going to end up covering, and sometimes I'll get new stuff just like this. If you're watching this after April of 2022, you may say, damn, this isn't a new knife. Well, son, right now it is, because I just got this a couple of days ago and it was just released. So we're good to go on this. We're good to go. All right. Again, in the comments, if you have any type questions about this particular knife, let me know. Again, if you like it, like it. If you like me, subscribe. I'm going to bring you more knife content in the future. Thanks for coming out. I'm out.